Thank you for listening to the Truths We Hide podcast, created by A Wild Ride Called Life. To find out more about our mission, visit www.awildridecalledlife.com. Hi, welcome to another episode of the Truths We Hide podcast. Today's guest is Sybil Jones. She is the owner of Mamas and Coffee, where she delivers a real, raw, and random discussion about life to empower women to live life to the fullest. She has also recently started sharing her message about self-love and body image from the skinny perspective over at SybilJones.com. Her entire work and mission are to empower others through her Know You, Be You, Love You message. Take a listen. Hi, Sybil. How are you doing today?
I am great. How are you doing, Annette?
I'm good. I am so glad that you're on here. Y'all, I met Sybil through the Rosie chapter cohort that was here at Fort Belvoir. And there was about 20 of us, I believe. And we all come from different backgrounds, and we were all working on our business or trying to figure out our business. And like Sybil says, we're trying to get our life together. So, and I think about that daily. And so I have those words in my head because of you, but it helps motivate me because I'm thinking, okay, Annette, get your life together. Seriously, get on track, focus. And you, among other women, have helped me do that, but I'm appreciative of what you do. So why don't you tell our listeners everything that you do, because it's all the things and you're busy.
Oh my gosh, so there's a lot of things. So I'll just begin it. So I am Sybil. I am the owner of Mamas and Coffee, which our mission there is to know you, be you, love you. It's all about empowering women and youth to know who they are, be who they are, and love who they are. And so I've been around a little bit over 3 years, almost 4 years now. And when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. Like, I was just literally flailing out there in the big old ocean. And look, I don't swim, so I was really flailing, okay? Like, the struggle was real. But a lot of what I do is provide content, written content, and I've really gotten into doing more videos, which I love, and I'm looking to start speaking more on empowerment for women and youth, really focusing on the self-love aspect of things. So
that's awesome. And you also co-host Mill Spouse Conversations.
Yes. So I am co-host of Mill Spouse Conversations with Christina, who we met online. Stranger danger, right? We met online. My family was moving to the DC area from Hawaii, and we were in another military spouse entrepreneur group, and they were doing this whole thing of, where do you live? You can connect, collaborate, yada yada yada, and we were headed in this direction. She posted that she was in Fort Belvoir. I said, yes, I'm coming that way. And we talked about meeting up once I arrived. So it was about 4 of us. We went out to dinner, and we literally yelled at each other across the table because we could not hear one another. So I think I agreed to a lot of things that night because I couldn't hear her. And so we, continued our conversations and went out for coffee a few times, and she asked me about co-creating Mill Spouse Conversations. And so there we are, and we're out here trucking along. So, my hands are full. I do Mamas and Coffee, I do Mill Spouse Conversations, and then I also do a lot of freelance work for different businesses that military and non-military. So yeah, jack of all trades.
That's awesome. So your branch, you are from I forgot what branch it was. It's not Army.
Navy.
Yeah. How long have you guys been a Navy family?
So it will be 18 years on March 30th. And I've been married to my sailor, to my God, and it's been a fun, interesting ride. I actually love the military life, so I love meeting people. I love moving every couple of years. After 2 years, I'm ready to go. Let's go. New adventure.
And where are you guys originally from?
I am originally from Tennessee. I am a volunteer. Yes, go Big Orange. My husband's from Mississippi, so we met at the University of Memphis. He reminds me of that daily, that I am a Memphis Tiger. I am a Memphis alum. I love my Tigers, but I was born and raised in East Tennessee, and my blood runneth orange.
That's awesome. And you have kids, and you are busy with them.
Yes.
How do you juggle that?
Well, honey, I don't know.
Right? It just happens. I don't even know how it happens.
We have 3 daughters. They are 11, 13, and 15. They are mini-me's to the 10th degree. If you know the movie Sybil, right? It was about a lady that had multiple personalities. Well, with each of my kids, you get those multiple personalities. I get to see what my husband has to deal with me on a daily basis through my kids. But, they're great. I will tell you, prior to having kids, I did not want kids. Kids, like, no, I was, going to be this corporate America lady, driving my drop top Benz with my white furniture, heading to the jazz club every week in California. Kids were going to be in my way. Like, what? And we have 3. But I
all
love
girls.
All girls. All girls. All divas. They are divas.
That is so funny. And how is it raising 3 girls in this lifestyle?
My kids, they seem to be, I say seem to be fine. I say seem to be because, a lot of times, and I'm learning to really sit down and focus and listen to what they're saying and read in between the lines, right? Because they don't always tell you everything. But from day one of us having kids, it was just part of their life, so we have never done the PCS countdown. We never did the return home from out to sea deployment countdowns. It was what it was. And so they roll with the punches. And honestly, when we came here from Hawaii, I had a full-blown tantrum, like fell on the floor, kicking and screaming, not because we were leaving Hawaii. It was more so of the way that we left. It was sudden, it was unexpected, it was, we got word, and then everything was rolling from there. And I still had things I wanted to do because we left 18 months early. So, you try to spread things out. We had a trip. We were going to Maui for Christmas, and we couldn't do that. We had tickets to see Kevin Hart. And I had purchased the VIP tickets, so we didn't get to do that. Like, that broke my heart, right? There was money down the drain. But my kids were actually the ones that said, Mommy, it's okay, let's go. Like, this is what we do. I tell them all the time, get your life together. They said it to me, get your life together, let's roll. It's time to go. So,
wow, okay.
They roll with it. Yeah.
Okay, so they taught you something.
They taught me something. Although this go around, my oldest daughter did say, actually my middle daughter has said that she wants to stay here to finish school. So our plan is to get our oldest, she's a sophomore, to get her through high school. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's definitely, it's something else trying to raise kids in this lifestyle and trying to stay positive. And have our own meltdowns when things don't go the way we want.
Yes. But usually, I'm ready to go. When it's time to go, I'm like, okay, because I look at it as an opportunity to meet new people. And I have the gift of gab, honey, so I love talking to people,
Do you find I think the packing up is so stressful for me because I seem to acquire new things everywhere I go. I get rid of stuff, but then I get stuff. And how is it with, I have 2 kids and they were easy. They were like, okay, this can go, this can stay. I'm like, I want everything to come with me. How does that, I don't even know how you do it. And with moving every 2 years, we've gotten lucky. We got to stay at Fort Hood for 4 years, and then El Paso Fort Hood 6 years, El Paso 4, and then everything else was 3, 2, or 1. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. So how do you do the every 2 years part? How do you stay sane?
Honey, look, I tell people all the time, never ask me for PCS tips, okay? Because I'm like, throw it all away. Just throw it away. We can start fresh. Like,
oh my God.
Can I say a bad word?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, we're not taking this shit with us.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it in the trash. I am literally the person about 3 days out from the Packers coming. I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should organize this. I'm like, well, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, that pile right there, I don't know what that is. Just toss it. Like, yeah, I'm like super cheap. Whatever. And we lived overseas, and we had to do the long-term storage. Now that's always interesting because boxes come and you're like, what is this?
Right?
Yeah. When we came here, we came from Hawaii, so we had long-term storage. Prior to Hawaii, we were in Pax River, but before Pax River, we were in Japan. So we had long-term storage, and there were things that came that we just put away. We didn't even open the boxes, right? So this move, I said, we need to go through these boxes that have not been opened. And Annette, I found money, cash money. I'm not talking about like $5 or $20. I'm talking about like $1,000 that somehow, I guess when we were moving, our family had given us Christmas gifts, envelopes of cash, and I somehow, so look, I went shoe shopping. I was happy. I love me some shoes, right? No, I didn't buy shoes. I'm just kidding. I didn't buy shoes. But, it was right on time because we needed things for the house. So we were like, okay, here we go. So, yeah.
It's amazing what you can find in those boxes. I know I saved all my kids' cards from years ago, and I finally went through it, and I found the rare $2 bills. I was like, oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I kept those and put those away, but I'm obsessed. I have to I lose sleep. I get up early. I stay up late when it comes to PCS time because I'm like trying to figure out, okay, should I donate it? I take too long to think. I need a 30-second rule. Yes or no? No, I don't know. So
my husband is very adamant on that. He's very, okay, we haven't used this. It goes.
Yeah.
And he's the one. And so I'm just like, okay, throw it away.
See, my husband's like you. He went into the storage room and he was like, what is this? You don't know? Okay, it's going to go. I'm like, but I need to look through that real quick. No, you haven't looked at it for 2 years.
Exactly.
So tell us how you started the Mamas and Coffee.
Well, so I used to run 2 other blogs, one called a Mom's Blog and one called Preschool to Teen. And with Preschool to Teen, I was very focused on self-esteem, anti-bullying education. And through talking about self-esteem and anti-bullying, I realized there was a lot of issues that occurred in everyday life from youth, from kids, that led into adulthood as well. But on a mom's blog, I was trying to be a crafty mom, because that was like way ago when, you know, blogging first started, and I am not crafty at all. Like, no. What I really wanted to talk about was the headaches of motherhood, because remember I told you I really didn't want to have kids. So there were times I wanted to just say, I don't like them today, right? But but you couldn't say that, you know, you just couldn't say you didn't like your kids. So I kept both of the websites separate, because there was no way I could talk about self-esteem and anti-bullying, you know, to support your kids and say, I don't like my kids today, right? So so years passed, and I really wasn't doing much with it. And years passed, and my husband was like, you really need to like figure out what you're going to do here. So a friend of mine, because I was also tutoring, we had decided we were going to do a YouTube channel, Broke Hoda and Kathy Lee Gilbert. That's who we were going to be. And and so that didn't pan out. And so literally sitting at my kitchen table, I was having a cup of coffee, because me and my husband used to do dates, Saturday dates at our coffee or at the kitchen table, right? Because the kids were still a little, they wasn't young, but you know, they were just we were new to the area, so we're like, eh. And so I said, mamas and coffee. And my degree is in logistics and marketing, right? So I'm a businesswoman. So I was like, hey, let me lock that domain down. And I parked it for like another year or so. Mm-hmm. But as I continue to talk to other women, I realized that there were other people out there who wanted a place to just say, life is crazy. Life is hard. These kids are driving me insane. So I created Mamas and Coffee space, a group. And then from there, I went online and I started the website. But as I was starting the website, there was a lady who was looking for someone to talk about body image, right? Mm-hmm. And so one of the areas I talked about a lot with self-esteem was about body image. And I submitted my article to her, and she never published it. And I was like, God. So I followed up. And when I went and I read everything else, it was more so on body image from a larger person's perspective. Mm-hmm. And mine was on a skinny perspective. Mm-hmm. And so I reached out, and she did post it. But as time went on, I started getting a beating, right? Because how dare you talk about this? Yeah. And so I just here recently, I said, what the hell? Mamas and Coffee is my brand. It is my mission. And part of self-love for me deals with loving yourself, which also means loving your body and accepting it. Mm-hmm. And so I have taken this mission to not only talk about every other aspect in life, because Mamas and Coffee, we talk about everything, but to really focus on body image from the skinny perspective. Because there was so much that surfaced for me as a child, also as an adult, and watching my own children. Mm-hmm. And you know your kids are going to endure things in life, right? But there's certain things that happen to them that tugs at your heart because you fully understand and you're pissed. And so I'm like, instead of me going and wanting to punch somebody, let me share a story to hopefully help other people overcome or help educate other people on how certain words or actions can hurt. That was really long. I just like rambled on that.
No, it's good. I mean, people need to know. And so what, if you want, what happened in your childhood that it makes you so passionate about this right now?
So, as a kid, and even still now, as a 42-year-old woman, I hear you need to eat.
Mm.
Go eat a burger.
Mm-hmm.
If you would just eat, you could gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
If you gain some weight, I would go out with you.
Wow.
All of those words, and those words I would hear every day from friends, from, acquaintances, from everybody. And I remember one day, after actually it was several times, well, if you would just go eat and just eat all day, just eat constantly, you will gain weight. I couldn't gain weight. I still don't. I weigh $107 on a good day. Okay. And so there was a point in my life that I've always been a very happy person. I've always loved myself. I always knew who I was. And I was always who I am. I'm Sybil Jones. Sybil Roddy prior to marriage. I'm Sybil Roddy. I'm Sybil Jones. Yeah. But there was a point in my life that with all of those words constantly coming down on me, I did just what I was told. Just eat. Eat all day. Just eat. And I would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. I was literally stuffing myself. But what was happening was I was making myself sick. So everything I was eating, I was vomiting.
Yeah.
And that is extremely unhealthy. Mm-hmm. Extremely unhealthy. My mom didn't know I was doing this. I was about 14 years old. I was in high school. That's when you want the boys to notice you.
Right.
And I was doing it because my mom was at work, so I'm at home. I had free time. She wasn't there. And she knew that I struggled with the comments, but she really didn't know how it was truly affecting me.
Right.
And so last year, my daughter came home, 14 years old, in tears, talking about she didn't like her size. She was really, really struggling. She's like, I want to gain weight. I need to gain weight. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to make a milkshake every day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I immediately flashed back to when I was 14. Yeah. And I was like, I cannot let this happen to her. And so it's a constant battle. It really is. A lot of people think that being skinny, there's a lot of glitz and glam that goes with it. And I always tell people that's what society has painted.
Yeah.
But being skinny, we have the same struggles, different, but the same struggles. Mm-hmm. And those words truly hurt. I mean, will tear you to shreds. Halloween, I was with my youngest daughter. We were trick-or-treating. We were having a good time. It was just the two of us. We were having a great time walking around. And she went to a house, and the lady looked her up and down, and she said, I'm going to give you extra candy because you need to eat more. You're so skinny.
Oh, wow.
And I watched my child go from this happy moment of trick-or-treating to just complete sadness. And people walk up to all my kids and say, they walk up to me and say it. And I used to cry. I used to go home and cry. I would cry in silence every single day. Even as an adult, yeah. I would say it. I mean, I would go home and I would cry. I did the same thing as an adult after I was married and stuffing myself and throwing up. My husband was deployed. And I was doing that. Luckily, again, I came to my senses and stopped. Mm-hmm. But those are real situations that happen. And the very first article that I wrote about skinny shaming, about body image. I had a grandmother reach out to me and say thank you, because she had a granddaughter who was cutting. She had started cutting because of the comments that were being said to her, not just from kids, but from adults. And so I'm taking on the mission of trying to let people know that, hey, you know, your words and your actions, you think you're giving a compliment, that's not a compliment. Don't ask me, you know, oh, you're not gonna, you really need to eat that. You need to eat. No, honey, I can eat you under the table. Don't get that twisted. But there's a misconception that because someone is skinny, that they don't have body image struggles. And there's a lot of body image struggles that you are just unaware of. It's there. I mean, people say, you can go to the store and buy anything you want. No, I can't. I'm a zero long. Yeah. Do you know? I mean, it's difficult to go into the store and find a zero long. Working out. You know, I walk into a gym. Why are you here? You're a skinny ass. What are you doing here? You don't need to work out. I don't work out to lose weight. I work out for my health.
Oh my goodness.
And those are things that you hear. Mm-hmm. And as I tell people, I'm not discrediting the other side of body image or, you know, body shaming. Not at all. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, as a skinny person, there's a voice that needs to be heard. And I refuse to sit back and not help my children. And that was really the driving force. Because when your kids come in the house in tears, or they say, well, I would rather be fat than skinny. And you ask, you know, and people don't think about that, right? And I asked my daughters why they said that. And they said, because when I'm at school, if someone is making fun of me about being skinny, no one says anything. But if someone makes a comment about a fat person, you have at least one person speak up and say, don't say that. That's rude. Mm. And I thought about it. And I'm like, I'm not saying that people don't speak up for body shaming for skinny folks, but I think about the number of times that people have made comments about my body. And I've had people standing there. Not one person ever speaks up and says anything. You know, don't say that. Actually, I have. Christina has. Christina said it one day because we've had this conversation, you know, and she was like, I could tell, because I had it in hell, because a lot of times what comes out, I'm either going to cave or I'm going to lash out. Mm-hmm. And then when you lash out, people are like, oh, well, you're just a little skinny bitch. No, I'm not. I'm tired of hearing this every single day. Let me just live my life. I'm out here living my best life. Like, leave me that.
No, that's important to say, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, have I done that? And I think it's important to tell people this, because there are some of us who are either, we don't say anything because we don't know what to say, we're uncomfortable, but it is important to say something regardless, because you don't know how the other person's feeling. So I think we're in that society where we'll just sit there. Well, we need to start speaking up more. We need to start defending people more. We need to start realizing that people have feelings, skinny or not. We're both dealing with things. And you talk about your daughter. My daughter came home from college, and she put on the freshman 15. Well, she's a sophomore. But she was so heartbroken because she's like, Mom, I don't know what happened. I don't like feeling this way. And it's hard because she's still beautiful. She's still my daughter. She's still, she's still her. She's still herself, but it's hard for her to accept it. And it's so important for us to teach our daughters to accept ourselves. It doesn't matter. You know, that doesn't define you. You're still a person with a good heart, and whatever the case is. So that is it's very important, and I'm glad you're standing up, and especially for your daughters, because they need to see that, you know, their mom is strong, and it doesn't matter what people say. What they used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but with names or words will never hurt.
But words can never hurt.
Yeah, it's still that, you know, we say that, but it really does.
It does. Words hurt. But you know, I actually do say that quote, and I look at it like this. It is me saying to myself that words will never hurt.
Yes.
You know, so when you read it, you're like, oh, okay. People are saying words will never hurt. No, I'm telling myself your words are not going to hurt me. I am not going to allow you or your thoughts of me to hurt me.
Right.
I say it all the time. I tell my kids when they walk out the door, know you be you love. Like that's my slogan. That's our household slogan. Know you be you love you.
Yeah.
People are always going to say something about you. People are always going to hate on you. You say those 6 words, you keep that in your mind, you shake your haters off. They might shake you, but don't let anyone break you. Right. And for me, when I would hear the skinny comments, it broke me. I allowed, and I think about this, I allowed someone who was insecure with themselves break me down.
Right.
And is it for what? For what? You know, and there's this whole thing of skinny, because when people think skinny, and this is something too, when people think skinny, they are not thinking of zero skinny, right? They're thinking skinny as in, I'm going to say like your size 4, your size 6. You still have a little shape to you. So I've learned that. Because when people say, when you start talking to people, it's not that they have a problem per se with that group of people. They have a problem with that group of people. But the poking of fun is those that are smaller. You know, my kids are double zeros. And one of them is a double zero, but it's still too big. Right? And so you're like, well, girl, I don't know what to tell you, because if you go down to the kid size, you're going to be flooding, right? So I'm like, and there are times, you know, people are like, skinny folks, which I'm like, you're not talking about zero skinny, can wear anything. No, we cannot. No. Know your body type. Know your body type. I say that all the time. I tell my kids that. Know your body type. Don't you ever in your life put that on again. That was a hot mess. Like, know your body.
Yes. It's an ugly world out there, but you know, and it's hard to be a parent. There's no handbook out there that gives you an answer for every little situation. We have to really dig deep and figure out how to help our kids. And you know, I'm glad that you're able to do that for yours, and I'm sorry that there's people out there that say stuff, but you're right, it has to do with themselves.
It has to do with themselves.
You know, they're probably jealous, like, man, I wish you was skinny. I'm just going to say something mean because I wish I was skinny. Well, not nice. We're grown now, you know.
Exactly.
We're grown. We need to teach our kids to be nice, so we need to be nice. Practice what you preach. But it's hard.
Yes.
So what do you envision now with Mamas of Coffee and Mill Spouse and all the things?
All the other things. So, you know, I'm a firm believer. You speak things into existence, right? You put things in the atmosphere. You pray about it, and you work hard. So, for Mamas of Coffee, I'm like, we are going to make it to Ellen. That is what I envision. One of the things that I envision is going to Ellen and talking about body image. That is just one of the things I want to do, because I really think there needs to be a voice
Mm-hmm.
about body image. With all that I'm doing, you know, I just really and truly want to help other people
Mm-hmm.
accept themselves
Mm-hmm.
and love themselves. That is what I envision for everything that I do. I say everything. For Mamas and Coffee, for Business Conversations, for all the different places that I freelance with, because and that's something that I've had to figure out as well, is where I wanted to use my energy and how I wanted to use my energy, right? Because a lot of the freelancer, you know, I Mamas and Coffee is mine, you know, that's my empire, right? But when you freelance in different places, you first think, I want to make the money, right? Like, let's just be real, right? But I'm like, for me, I think it's very important that I align my brand and my mission. And my brand and my mission is me. It's what I believe in. And so I've really been trying to figure out and trying to make sure that I align everything that I do with that mission, which is empowerment, and just been there for other women and youth. And sometimes I give you, what about the men? I love men. Well, I love my husband. I love everybody. Let me rephrase that. Lord, I love everybody. But as I tell people, I'm not a man, so I can't talk about life that you know, men deal with. And that's the same thing with body image. You know, I've had people say, well, why don't you talk about the other aspects? Well, because I don't know.
Right.
No, and that's not my purpose in life. Like, I don't know. I can only, I talk about what I know. That's it. You know, I talk about big hair. Because why? I have big hair.
You're right.
No.
And that's important, is just to stick to what we know, because if you get people out there that are trying to talk about things they don't know, how is that helping? Because, you know, don't make it up. You got to be real about what you know.
Yes, and I'm very real. Like, I'm super real and random and raw as a, hey, and that, you know, what you see is what you get. First day of Rosie, I was really quiet.
We all were.
Yeah.
And then the next week, it was like a little bit at a time. And then now we're like, here I am. This is the real me. Okay, let's hear those 6 words again.
Know you, be you, love you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
mamasandcoffee.com. MAMAS, because apparently people spell it
MOM?
MOM or MAMM. I was like, no. Then I was questioning myself, right? Like, MAMAS, Mamas and Coffee.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sybil, for being on here and being on this mission to help other people with body image and loving themselves. We need more people like that, and I'm grateful that you are one of them. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to you soon.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Bye.